Alright, time to introduce monsters. So we need a struct, of course. We're using a lot of structs in this tutorial. Kind of been thinking, I'm like object-oriented type programming is, it's almost what we're going for here, even though we're using C. So type def struct monster, by now you know the drill. And the values that we're going to need. Okay, so we're going to need a char symbol to represent the monster on the map. You know how we have the @ character for the user, the player. So the monster will have something. We need int health, int attack, int speed. Some of these, such as speed, we might not use right away. Int defense, again, we might not use them right away. Int pathfinding. This is going to be basically, does the monster move in a random way, or does the monster move in a predictable algorithmic way? So we'll have two of those. We'll have where the monster is kind of seeking out the player, and where the monster's just moving randomly. And then a position. So where's the monster currently? Position. Alright, save that. Okay, we're also going to want a new file, and we're going to save that and call it monster.c. Make sure it goes in your source folder. Monster.c. And of course all our files include rogue.h. Okay, so before we go on further, I just want us to kind of do some planning for a monster. So how we're going to start this is we're going to start with 3 different monsters, okay? We're going to have a spider, we're going to have a goblin, we're going to have a troll. Okay, so I'm just going to go through some details here. Spider is going to show up between levels 1 and 3. Okay, so if you're on level 1, you'll see a spider, possibly, or you might see spider on level 2, level 3, etc. If you get to level 4, no more spiders. So it's kind of the idea of each of these monsters is going to be more powerful, so the higher up in the levels you get, the less you'll see. Okay, so health will be 2 for our spider. Spider is kind of our lowest monster. Attack is just if they hit you, how many health points damage do they do? I guess things will get more complicated when we add in like armor that the player can pick and stuff like that, but we're not there yet. Speed, I'm kind of thinking that some monsters will be able to move 2 tiles at a time, or maybe do 2 attacks at a time. And here come the police. Okay, defense, kind of how effective your attack against them is. Again, some of these we might use, some of them we might not. Pathfinding, it's going to be random, so that's going to be, we're going to represent random pathfinding as 1, so I'll just be an int again. Okay, so goblin, let's just copy and paste that. And trolls. Okay, so the goblins are kind of going to be the next level, so they're going to go up to, say, level, I don't know, levels 1 to 5. Oh, we don't have symbol here, because we need a symbol. How are they represented on the map? For the spider, we're just going to do an X. I don't know, kind of looks like a spider. Yeah, maybe not. And then just for goblin, it's going to be a G. Troll, it's going to be a T. So their attack is going to be 3, speed 1, defense 1. Again, we're not really even using defense now, so it doesn't matter they're going to be 2. So they're gonna each time they move, they're gonna be moving closer to the player. That's how they're gonna work. Control T. Okay, these guys, the trolls are kind of they're a little bit of a tougher boss, so they're gonna be 4 to 6 that will show up. And again, this is all just random right now, and you can make your own stuff. Health, let's say 15. Oh, these guys' health should be higher than that. Didn't change that. Health, say 5. Attack, a little more powerful. Speed 1, defense 1, pathfinding 1. So they're random too. Random. I don't know. Seeking. Random. Okay, so when we add more monsters, we'll kind of use this and look at it. But yeah, okay, so these are our monsters now. In our last tutorial, we created these levels, and if you check out the struct for level, it has this monsters array. So we're going to want to, that's where our monsters are going. So in level.c create level, let's save that, and so new level monsters equals, and we're going to write a new function called add monsters. Okay, so that's going to be our first monsters function. Let's add a section down here for all of them. So these are our monster functions. And we called that, okay, so it returns a monster array, and it's called add monster. Monsters. Okay, so this should also take in what level they're being added to. No. Okay, sorry, we're not actually, this is actually not going to return star monster. It's actually going to take in a level pointer. So yeah, so that's, instead of this equaling, we're going to pass it to it. We're going to pass this pointer to it. So like that. And I'll show you why in a second. All right, so let's write this function, add monsters. So remember, it returns an int, add monsters, and it takes in a level pointer. Okay, so we're going to need a new array of monsters. Monster array. No. Yes. No, we don't need to do that. Sorry. We already have a monster pointer, so we don't need to declare a new one. And that monster pointer is in our level struct, so it's monsters. That's what we want. Monsters. And this is going to be equal to malloc size of, it's going to be monster star, and we're going to say the maximum number of monsters per level is 6. So that's going to be the max number. Because we're actually going to, at least to start, we're only going to have 1 monster per room, and the maximum number of rooms is going to be 6. So that's where that number comes from. Okay, so now what we want to do is we want to loop through all our rooms. So that's going to be a for loop. So we need a counter variable, int x equals 0. Declare down here. x equals 0. X is less than level number of rooms, x plus plus. Okay, now we don't want monsters showing up in every single room. So what we're going to do is we're going to declare an if statement, and we're going to make it 50% chance. So remember when we did random numbers before in our room.c. So here we have our random numbers. This is the random function. And this was initialized in our screen setup with srand. Okay, so we can just use this function. So if another bracket around it, and we want, so 50% chance is going to be either, is it 0 or is it 1? So %2 will give us, that will give us a number between 0 and 1. And we're going to say if it's equal to 0, then we'll add a monster. So that's just 50% chance that there's a monster in a room. Okay, so if that is true, then our number of monsters, here, let's level, remember we have that integer number of monsters. Now we haven't initialized it, so we're going to start at 0. So level number of monsters, at the start there's 0, right? So equals 0. Then we can use that as a counter. So we're going to say level monsters, number of monsters, so it's starting at 0, equals, and we're going to call a function called add monsters. No. Select monster. We've already written add monsters. Hence why it popped up. And then we increase this counter level number of monsters. So that goes up by 1. Okay, and then we want to write this function. So select monsters. Now this is going to take in the level. So what do we want? We'll come back to that. I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, we'll come back to that. I think we might need to pass it something else. So yeah, don't worry about what it's taking now. I know it returns, though, a monster star, monster pointer. Okay, so we're going to write a switch statement. Sorry, I'm just trying to think of how this is working. Because we want to create our monster. But then we also want to draw the monster. Yeah, we'll actually do that. Yeah, okay, we're good. So this is going to be an int level, and that's an int being passed there. So like for level 1, this will be a 1. Okay, so remember down here we said spiders are only going to show up between levels 1 and 3. Goblins are going to show up between levels 1 and 5. Okay, so we're going to switch on the level, and we're going to say case 1, that's basically level 1, level 2, level 3. Then we're going to create a spider. Okay. or it will always be a spider. And there will be case 4 and 5 where it could be a goblin or a troll. And then case 6, it has to be, for level 6 right now, it has to be a troll. There's no other possibility. Break, break. Okay, and then spider's going to be our monster number 1. Goblin's going to be our monster number 2. Troll's going to be our goblin number 3. Okay, so let's declare another integer here called monster. And this tells us what monster we're going to create. Okay, so if it's case number 6, we know it's a troll. So monster equals 3. But if it's level 1, 2, or 3, then it could be a spider, it could be a troll. So it could be 1 or 2. So again, we're going to use a random number. I'm going to say monster equals rand modulus 2 plus 1. So that's going to give us a number between we probably could have done 0 base, but anyways, that's going to give us a number between 1 and 2. And then here we want a number between 2 and 3 because it can either be a goblin or a troll. Hope this is making sense. Monster equals, same thing, rand mod 3, no, mod 2, but it's going to be plus 2. So that's going to give us a number between 4 and 5. Sorry, between 2 and 3. Okay, so, and then here it's always going to be a troll. Okay, so we want another switch statement now. And we're going to switch on monster now. So again, that's, is it a goblin, is it a troll? So case 1, this is a spider. Case 2, this is a goblin. Case 3, this is a troll. And then break. Don't forget those breaks. I actually forgot when I was preparing for this, I coded all this, and I forgot the break statement. I had no idea what was going on because it was always a troll. We were never in level 6. And I was like, I don't understand. There's no spiders, there's no goblins. That was because I didn't have a break statement here. I had a break statement up here, but not down here. Anyways, okay, so then we're going to have a function called create monster. And we're going to return that. So we're going to return whatever this create monster function returns. Okay, so let's put that here and in here. So we don't even need the break statements then. Yeah. Huh. If we're just returning right away, we don't need those. Obviously, I had the code set up a little differently then. Okay, so pretty sure that's good. Now, what is this create monster function? So obviously, if this function here returns a monster and it's returning this create monster function, then obviously create monster needs to return a monster pointer. So create monster. Okay, and how we're going to do this is it's going to take in all this information. So the first thing is a char symbol. Next thing is health, We don't need to store the levels. We already kind of know that ourselves. Int health. Int attack. Int speed. Int defense. And int pathfinding. Okay, so then we're going to create that new monster here. So monster star new monster. New monster equals malloc size of monster. Whoops. And then just copy this new monster. So new monster symbol equals symbol. New monster health equals health. New monster attack. So if you guys aren't familiar with this, which is what we're saying, is we've created this struct, which is a new monster, and it has all these values symbol in it, but those aren't actually equal to anything, and then whatever we're passing to this function gets assigned to those to that struct. So it kind of looks like we're just saying attack is equal to attack, but they're not the same. If this was Java, then I think basically you would replace this new monster with this. So it's kind of similar. Int speed equals speed. New monster defense equals defense. And finally, new monster pathfinding equals pathfinding. So that's pretty, like, I like the way that this function's working. You know, it's pretty. Its main job is to create a monster, and we can use it for different types of monsters. You know, it's not like we did a create spider, create goblin, because if we did that, we'd have to rewrite the function over and over again. But here we can just write one function, and then we can use it to create many different types of monsters. So that's pretty cool. Okay, so then here we're gonna have to put in all this information. So with our spider, there's an X. Actually, I'd like to kind of get this stuff up closer. So let's just copy that. We'll just put it right above. Delete it later. So the spider right here, we just need to copy all this stuff in. So health 2, attack 1, speed 1, defense 1, pathfinding 1. Is that right? That's attack is only 1. Health is, yep. Alright, that's a weak monster. Okay, so that's our spider. Then our goblin. It's a G. Remember, single quotes, not double quotes. Single quotes is a single character. Double quotes is a string of characters. Health is 5. Attack is 3. Speed is 1. Defense 1. Pathfinding 2. And then for our troll, that's a T. 15. 5. 1. 1. 1. Yeah. Okay, so that should be pretty good. So this is going to return this newly created monster, and it's going to store it in this array. Now we also want to select our starting position. So we're going to create a new function, set starting position, and it's going to take a monster. So it's going to take this monster that we just created, which is stored in this array. And it's also going to take this room up here, the current room that we're working on, because that's the room that the monster is going into. So level rooms, and that's going to be X, because that's the room that we're at. Okay, so now we write this function. So we'll put that down here. Set starting position. Now this isn't really specific to monsters quite yet. Well, I guess it kind of is, but we could maybe at some point change that. But anyways, int set starting position. It takes a monster, pointer monster. It could be nice to also have this be able to take a player. So we'll. That's a little bit more complicated coding, which I'm not really familiar with, but right now we just need it for monsters. So what else? Room, right? Room star room. Okay, now. Ooh, this is a fun function to write. Okay, so we want it to be. Oh, yeah, that's not gonna work. Okay, wanted to just kind of show it to you, but I can show it to you here. So we have our room, and our room's going to kind of look something like this, right? And there's going to be a whole bunch of dots here. Anyways, we want our monster to be somewhere between here, right? And we want to be, if this is a, we want its Y position to be in between here, and its X position to be in between here. And that will give us a random position somewhere in this room. So that means, okay, monster, position dot Y can be equal to, okay, so this is definitely where we're going to get some errors, but random. Now we want it to be, okay, so let's say the width is, let's take this as an example. The width of this room here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so that's the width. So if we mod this by the width, so it's going to be room width. Okay, that's going to give us a number between 0 and 5. Yeah, 0 and 5. So it could show up anywhere in here. No. It could show up anywhere in here. Because it's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so it could show up in anywhere here. But we don't want it in here, and we don't want it here. So we want it actually to be 4. We want this to be 4. So because this is 2 over, we're in -2. And that will give us a random number between 0 and 3. Okay. Then we have to add the room X position to it. Dot X. Okay, so that will bump it up to here. But then we also want to add 1, I believe. Not quite sure about that, but I think that's how you do it. Oh, but this is for X. Whoops. So just change that to X. Okay, then do the same thing for Y. Dot Y. Change that to Y. It's the same thing, just height now. Same logic. Okay, then we can print it. So move print W, and we'll go to that monster's position. So monster position dot Y, monster position dot X, and then we want to do the symbol. Okay, now we have that symbol in monster symbol. Remember, this is a single character, and move print W wants a string of characters. It wants something like this, which monster symbol is not. Okay, so we have to convert that symbol. We did this in a previous tutorial. So we create a char buffer, which will be a string of 8 characters. I don't know why I pick 8, but that's why I pick. And then we use the sprintf function, and buffer is going to get the string saved in. We format it as a character, and we just pass it the monster symbol. And that should work. Maybe. And so then we print the buffer out. Okay, we have a lot that could go wrong here, but I mean, it looks pretty good. So we need to make sure that our rogue.h is updated. So int add monsters. Yep, select monsters. Monster create monster, which I'm very proud of that function, by the way. That's like good object-oriented practices coming through in the C. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Okay, so set starting position. Now this is make it, see what errors we get. There's gonna be a lot. Okay, so in function create level, warning passing argument 1 of add monsters from incompatible pointer type. So line 22 in .c. So add monsters, new level monsters. And it's expecting, what's it expecting? It's expecting a level. Okay, so let's add monsters, new level. Try that. So I got that error out. So in main 13, main.c, level 13. Now that's weird because we haven't modified create level. It's very strange. Level.c create level. So I'm not sure what the issue is there, unless we have something. I don't know if we've added that. That's weird. So that's from a previous tutorial, but I don't think we ever added it to our .h. I don't see it here, so let's add that in now. Whoops. Level star create level. And monster.37. Looks like I just forgot a semicolon. Yep. So clear that, make segfault. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, I'm on a roll with these segfaults. You know, I really am. I think this is like the past 3 videos. Okay, let's figure out what's going on here. So here we're mallocing these monsters. Number of monsters. 0. That's our index. That should be good. Equals select monster. That should be all good. So then here we always return some kind of monster. At least we should. That could be an issue. We might not always be. If we, let's say if this ever equals 0, then we're not hitting these cases. I don't think that's the issue. New monster equal malloc, size of monster. Okay, so we kind of want to figure out where we're hitting this segfault. It's interesting. Remember to delete that. Now it could be here, but I kind of think not. Very interesting. Well, let's just see how far we get, kind of thing. So, do we get to here? This doesn't always work. Sometimes. Okay, so we do get there, and then we segfault. Okay. Now let's see if we're hitting these. Yeah, we are. So we're hitting create monster somewhere. Oh wait. Actually, let's try that again. File, open tab, make. No, okay, so we do hit those. Cool, cool. So we get into here somewhere. Oh shoot, we actually don't know because we weren't deleting this, so those tests were pointless. I remember to delete that. It's a pain. It's a real pain. We should almost clear it before we make it, instead of at the end. Okay, so what's happening is we're not actually hitting this create monster function. So I'd like to print out what this monster is. So let's do move print w 0 0. And we're just going to print out monster %d and monster. So that will tell us what's going on. Delete that. Mike. We didn't even get that far, did we? Let's just pause it here. The get char. So that compiled. That's kind of weird. See, we're getting garbage values for this monster. So that's obviously causing problems. It's total garbage values. So let's figure out what's going on there. Somehow this monster is not getting set properly. So we should be, or where do we set this level? It should be in level.c, level main.c. Okay, so here when we create our level, we don't pass it an integer. That is what's messing us up, I believe. So now let's make it. No. Oh yeah, we have to Yeah, okay. I'm gonna actually fix that right now. So we're gonna put clean before we try and compile. We're gonna clean. So every single time, just gonna clean it, because I'm tired of that always being a problem. Oh no, okay, that's not gonna work. We'll fix that later. But okay. Okay, let's things seem to be working now. So the main problem was we weren't setting the level because nothing was getting past to level, to create level. So that was causing a whole bunch of problems that were a little hard to find. But let's get rid of these get chars. And that one there, I think it's working now. So let's make sure that, yeah, that's gone. Make. Okay, so here we're getting our monsters placed, but not always correctly. So you can see it's kind of okay, I know what we did here. This random thing, these are supposed to be in brackets because the modulus operator happens before the subtraction. So that's what's going on there. Remake it. Make. Are they always showing up inside the rooms? Looks like it. Yeah, I think they are. It seems to be working. So we're getting the monsters showing up where they're supposed to be. That's pretty sweet. Okay, so obviously they're not moving right now. And we're only ever on level 1, so you're not going to see a troll showing up. But I think, you know, generally speaking, this is how we want this working. It looks like we're getting a good variety of numbers of monsters. Here we have 2. Here we have 2, 3, 1. Okay, so yeah, we're getting good, you know, it's random. It's 50% chance that there will be a monster in the room. It's a random position. You know, we might want to change it so that no monster shows up in the first room that the player's in. That'd be kind of weird at the start. But I mean, we're not going to worry about that right now. Those are little details. So we'll probably get the monsters moving in our next tutorial. Oh boy, this was a long video. Yay for seg faults. But anyways, there was a lot to go through, so I hope that was good. As always, feel free to ask any comments or to add any comments or ask any questions. All right, I gotta stop now.